Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Alright, today I'm doing a video that I never really thought I'd do, and that's sharing all of my brown polishes. Now, I've never really had a ton of brown polishes. I love the color brown in nature. I think it's beautiful and it's a really rich, gorgeous color, but it's just not a color that I've ever really gravitated to on the nails. And so I never had a lot of browns. And then there's a couple polishes that surprisingly that I just loved so much, and they were brown, and they kind of started making me rethink browns. And then slowly over the years, I've little by little would get little browns here and there. And then recently, probably like, I want to say maybe like September-ish through December, I kind of started buying a lot of brown creams. Anytime I was at TJ Maxx or Marshall's and I would see a brown, I started buying them because I started thinking, well, in the back of my mind, I knew that I was going to be going on a low buy. And I also knew that I was going to want to start incorporating this year a lot of nail art or like stamping and things like that. And so I thought that browns were really lacking in my collection. And I thought that brown creams in particular would really come in handy for some of the nail art that I want to do this year. Like in this fall, wanting to do like leaves and things like that. So I've kind of accumulated a whole bucket of browns over the last couple of years. And like I said, I never really thought I'd have this many browns. So I thought I would just dedicate a whole video to them. So let me start with the first brown. Actually, there's another one. The very first brown that I bought, knowing that it was brown and knowing that I don't love browns, but that the color just kind of spoke to me and I thought I would buy it anyways. Where is it? Where are you? There you are. Okay, so the first one was Emily Damali, Opposite Order. So back in, I think it was 2019, I really got into Emily Damali. Her beautiful kind of like shifting polishes with the gorgeous shimmers, and I just went crazy. And there's one that I kept looking at, this one is Opposite Order. It's brown and it's got a beautiful blue shimmer, and I kept going back and forth. I'm like, no, it's brown. It's like, I don't really love brown. But I just couldn't stop looking at the pictures. And so I got it, and this is really beautiful. I really, really enjoy this one. So pretty. But the one polish that really just has blown me away, it's one of my very favorite polishes. I've worn it so many times, and I love, love, love it. And this is Night Owl Lacquer Leaf Peeping with Sasquatch. I got this one in October 2019 PPU, and this was the first real brown that I fell in love with. So this is a brown. It's like a deep, beautiful kind of like orangey fall brown, and it's got those gorgeous flakes. Look at that. This polish blows me away. On my nails, it pulls a tiny tinge, kind of like a reddish brown, and I just love it. I absolutely love this polish. It's definitely one of my very favorite polishes. If I could only keep, I don't know, let's be realistic and say like 100 polishes, because I'm not going to say if I can only keep 10 polishes, but if I could only keep like 100 polishes, this would definitely be in that 100, and it's just so beautiful. Love this one. Okay, and another one that blew me away and started making me question my love for browns, or my, yeah, I'll say love, because the ones that I have, I love. Okay, is Different Dimensions Extraterrestrial. Now this is kind of like a swampy green, and you see it's got those beautiful flakies, but you can kind of see there how it's got like that kind of reddish brown hint to it. On my nails, this pulls very brown. It does not pull green, it pulls very brown. Kind of similar to Leaf Peeping with Sasquatch, how it's kind of like pulls like a reddish brown on me. And I just love it. So beautiful. Again, one of my favorites. I would probably keep this in my top 100 polishes. So pretty. Love this one. And then another one that I only wore recently, but I bought this a while back. I just kept seeing this swatch and I just could not. I kept going to the website, and eventually I had to buy it. And this is Danny DVW. I thought it was Danny by Viana. Oh, this one is by Danny Viana and Watcha. So I guess it's some kind of collab. And this one is called Centaur. And this is just this beautiful, beautiful brown, chock full of like green, yellow, orange shifting flakes. So beautiful, so rich, and just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. All right, now let's get into just random, I'll just start pulling polishes that I've accumulated in the last couple years, but most of these I would say are within the last year. And a lot of them are within like the last few months. Okay, we have OPI's My Private Jet. I saw this at TJ Maxx and finally grabbed it. I believe this is like a classic, and I keep seeing it over and over at TJ Maxx. Every time I go to TJ Maxx now, it's always there. Okay, then we have Essie's Off the Grid. This is one that I've accumulated in the last few months. This one's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like a neutrally brown, maybe like a khaki brown, but it's got a little bit of brown in there. It's really interesting and unique. I think it definitely has kind of like a brownish quality to it. Some of these might be a little questionable, but they either pull brownish on my nails or they just have like a little something that makes it feel like it could be a brown. Another Essie, this one is Hike It Up. This one is really, really interesting too. It's kind of similar to this, but they're several shades off. But it's kind of just like a beigey brown, or like a beige with just a little drop of like a greenish brown. I don't know, just really interesting. Okay, then I bought this one for Black Friday. I made my first order 2 Holo Taco, and I got a couple Holo Tacos, and 2 of them were browns. Where's the other one? There we go. First one is Holo Taco Choco Holo. This is a brown glitter holo. And then Holo Taco Burnt Bridges. I haven't worn these, I've swatched them. I don't know how I feel about this holo, and I don't remember. I think this one had a pretty nice formula, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. I'm definitely gonna have to wear it. I think I'll probably wear these 2 together. Amanda from the Nail Polish Hound said she wore this together and she really liked it. So this one is, did I say what they're called? This one is Burnt Bridges, and then this one is Choco Holo. Okay, then we have another Essie. This one is No Time for Local. Now this one's interesting because it looks gray. It's definitely gray, but it looks like it's got just the tiniest drop of brown in it. So it's kind of like a brown gray. And I think on my nails it pulls just a tiny bit more brown than it looks in the bottle, but really interesting. So I thought I would include it here, even though I know technically this is probably more like a gray, but it's just got like a little drop of brown, I think. At least that's how it looks to me on my nails. Okay, then we have ILMP Timber. This is a Holo Jelly. Really pretty. I don't know how I'm going to love this one. My swatch, it is very like a sheer jelly. So I might end up wearing undies for this one. Okay, then I have 2 by Bee's Lacquer, and I got them in the same time. They just both were so beautiful, and they spoke to me just like crazy. Bee's Lacquer Sunrise Sunset. Gorgeous. It's got kind of like a murky brown base, and then it's got that beautiful shimmer, and then those little hollow flakies. So gorgeous. I cannot wait to wear this one. And then we have What Have the Dark Lord Wrought. This one's kind of like an olivey, but it pulls brown on me. It's like an olivey brown, like a grungy olive brown, just so pretty. And then again, it's got that gorgeous shimmer. They are different. They look similar in the bottle. Actually, they look very, very similar in the bottles. But on the nails, they look different. Wow, actually, they look pretty identical in the bottles. But they definitely pull different on my nails, and I love them both. They're just gorgeous. Okay, let's talk about this polish. This is Zoya's Cola. Now, I decluttered this several years ago because it's a red, but it's a lot of brown. So it's like a brown with a little bit of red in it. And I decluttered it because I don't like browns. And then I have a bag that I declutter my polishes into, and then I either give them away or sometimes I pull them back out and I franken them, so I repurpose them. This one was just rolling around in the bottom of my bag. I had never gotten rid of it and I hadn't frankened it, and I pulled it back out. This was when I was slowly starting to kind of like browns again, or realize that, hey, I kind of do like browns. And so I uncluttered it, I wore this, and I fell in love with it. And since I've uncluttered this, I've worn this like 4 times. I use it as undies. This is amazing with flakies on top. This makes a beautiful base for kind of like brownie ready polishes on top, or like gold flakies. I love this, and I'm so happy that I uncluttered it because this isn't even available on their website anymore. Okay, then we have Native War Paints Coffee with Lots of Cream and Sugar. This one is a very, very pale brown. It's like coffee with lots of cream and sugar, and this is actually the kind of the shade that I would drink my coffee with, lots of cream, barely any coffee. Although nowadays I do drink more coffee with a little less heavy cream, and I do drink it a little bit darker, but still not dark, not black by any means. Okay, then we have Kale Polish Cafe Disco. This is a very soft kind of neutral, it's not really beige, it's definitely brown, but it's just a very soft, again, like a soft kind of like coffee brown. Really pretty. It's got that interesting shimmer. I haven't worn this one yet. All right, then we have China Glaze Loves You a Latte. This one pulls very orange, so it's like an orange brown. Orange with a lot of brown in it, or brown with just a little bit of orange. So it leans kind of like a rusty orange, but definitely has that brown quality to it. Kind of similar to cola, actually. See? Okay, then we have, I saw this one at Marshall's a few months ago. Deborah Lippmann Gone Green. It's very interesting. It's green, but it's like a brown green. It's really interesting. And then it's got tons of shimmer. Kind of like, actually kind of the same type of shimmer that looks like in Cafe. What is this called? Cafe Disco? But just different tones of brown. So it's a green, but it's like a brown green. It's interesting. It's like a murky color. Okay, then this one, I've had this one for years. This is Colors of Carol Shale. And this is like a bronze, but it pulls very brown. It's like a brown bronze. It's really interesting. I've almost decluttered this over the years, but it's just so interesting and unique that I could never really get rid of it. And this is in their old bottles. All right, then we have this one. I cannot believe I haven't worn this one. This is Dreamland Lacquer Spirit of Samhain. This one is definitely like a brown orange base, and then it's got like a jelly base, and it's got all those gorgeous flakies. So beautiful, but the base is definitely a very like brown jelly. Now when I went to Idaho, I saw this on Chris's nails, and I could not stop staring at her nails the entire time she was wearing this, and I knew that I had to wear it, and I wanted to get to it in October, and I just never did. I'm so disappointed that I didn't get to it, but this year I'm definitely gonna wear it this fall because this is just so beautiful, gorgeous. Okay, then we have a very old polish. This is Native War Paint Lurkers. I've had this for years. I've decluttered this so many times over the years, and I just always pull it back out of my bag. It's a sheer brown. It's very sheer, and it's got that beautiful kind of like turquoisey shimmer. So pretty, but I never wear it, and so I put it into my Halloween drawer a couple years ago, thinking that, okay, I'll wear it for Halloween because, you know, these kind of like murky, creepy colors, you know, would be nice for Halloween. And I still haven't worn it, but I still can't bring myself to declutter it. So I think maybe I might end up frankening this because it is just so interesting and unique, and I definitely don't want to get rid of it, but at the same time I don't wear it. But I should because I'm starting to get into browns now. Okay, then we have Kale Polish Graham. This one is such a gorgeous polish. I love this one. It's one of my favorite Kales. It's so unique and interesting. So it's like a beige, but it's got a drop of brown in it, or like a drop of gray. It's like a brownie gray beige. It's so unique and so interesting. Like this one might be questionable on if this is a brown or not, but it definitely kind of has that unique kind of beigey brown quality to it, and it's just really beautiful. I love this one. I've loved this one for years. Okay, then we have Essie Rainwear Don't Care. Another one of those kind of like, I got a bunch of these types of polishes where they're kind of beige, but they've got just a little drop of something in them, like just a little drop of brown, little drop of yellow, little drop of something. This one is Rainwear Don't Care. This one looks like it's maybe got like a drop of yellow, but it also kind of pulls. This one is probably the most questionable on whether or not you would call this a brown. But I thought I would just include it because it's kind of in that kind of realm. Let me know what you think, if you would even consider this brown at all. Okay, then we have China Glaze from the Jurassic Park collection. This one is Sandy Scales. And this one is definitely kind of like a soft, neutrally sandy beige. Do you guys consider beiges browns, or do you consider them more kind of like creams white category, like how, or just like neutral altogether? How would you categorize these types of like beiges? Let me know down below what you think. Well, this one isn't really beige, but these types of where they're kind of like beige or like a true beige even, where would you categorize those? But anyways, I feel like this one has just a little bit of brown, enough to kind of share it with my browns. And whenever I finally wear this, I will store this in my neutrals drawer, which is where I keep my blacks, my browns, my golds, my silvers, things like that. Okay, then we have an Espressi. This is Don't Be Latte. And this one is brown with a little bit of green in it. So this one's really interesting. I like this one. Okay, then we have Lights Lacquer Emma. I found this one at TJ Maxx recently. I found a bunch of Lights Lacquer, like 4 or 5, well, like 6 or 7, but there's only a handful that I wanted. This one is kind of like a pinky brown. So it's brown, it's got like just a little drop of pink in it, really interesting. And I think it pulls, from what I remember my swatches, I think this pulls a little more brown on me than what it looks in the bottle, but really interesting. Let's see, then I've got another Lights Lacquer. This one is Aliana, really pretty. This one's a brown, and again got like just a little drop of, I want to say like a tiny drop of pink. It's really pretty, like a little teeny tiny drop of like a reddish pink. It's not really like a reddy brown like how cola is, but you can kind of see it's kind of got that similar kind of like pinky quality to it. Definitely a lot more pink than this one. Maybe this brown has maybe a little bit yellow in it, and this one is a little more pink. What do you guys think? And then another Lights Lacquer, this one is Olivia, and this one is just a beautiful kind of like chocolatey brown, really, really pretty. Okay, then and all of those I purchased in the last, probably I want to say I got them in like early December. Okay, then we have this polish. This isn't even supposed to be brown. This is Tonic Polish Fatigued. I had this sitting on my nail rack in with my Fugly Pugly Fridays for polishes that I would wear on Fridays for Fugly Pugly Friday. And I was looking at it because I was looking for undies for a topper that I want to wear, and I was looking through my rack for inspiration so I could pull from my rack, and I saw this and I was very confused. I was like, I don't remember ever buying a brown tonic hollow. And I was looking at it, and then when I read the name Fatigued, I was like, I thought this was an olive green, like an army fatigue olive green. And then I looked up my swatch picture, and sure enough, this is green, but it's now brown. It's very, very strange. I've never seen greens fade to brown. So I'm tempted to franken this and add a little bit of green to pull this more olive. But in the meantime, I thought I would show you guys it is brown now. It's like a brown hollow, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's pretty, but at the same time, I'm kind of mad that it's not that gorgeous, murky olive green. Okay, and then the rest of these are all creams that I've purchased within like the last 2 to 3 months before going on my low buy. I'm telling you, I went on a brown kick and I started buying a bunch of brown creams from head to toe. And then from anytime I would go to TJ Maxx. There's one more that I want to get a hold of that I saw at TJ Maxx, and then I didn't get it because I was buying so many browns, and I wasn't quite sure, and I hadn't swatched them all yet, and I wasn't quite sure if I'd already gotten one quite like that, and that was OPI's something Thor with the name Thor at the end. And if I see it again at TJ Maxx, even though I'm on low buy, I will buy it. Because now that I've swatched everything, I do think it's going to be slightly different. But anyways, this one is OPI's Espresso Your Inner Self. And this one is kind of similar to... I am happy to say that all the new browns that I bought in the last few months, they're all different. I was a little concerned at first. It's kind of similar to the Lights Lacquer Eliana, but this one's darker. How it's kind of like a brown with a little bit of pink in it maybe. But really, really pretty. Love this one. Okay, then we have Orly's Coffee Break. And this one is definitely a brown with a lot of pink in it. I guess, would you say this is... How would you describe this? Like, would you say this has pink in it, or would you say it has a tiny bit of orange in it? I'm not quite sure. I feel like it's kind of like a pinky brown. Either way, it's very interesting, and I like this one. Okay, then we have OPI's Over the Taupe. And this one definitely pulls more brown than taupe. I think the name is kind of strange. Kind of like OPI's Lucky Lucky Lavender, where it's not lavender at all. It's more like a, more like an orchid, or even like a, even leaning more like violet, but definitely not lavender. And I kind of feel the same about this. This is definitely not taupe. It's definitely more brown, but it's really, really pretty. I'm glad I have it. Okay, then OPI's How Great Is Your Dane? Beautiful. A lot of these browns I haven't worn yet, but I have plans. Okay, then we have China Glaze Brew That. Really pretty brown. And then China Glaze My Broomstick Runs on Coffee. It's like a deep, kind of chocolatey brown. Really interesting. And then we have OPI's Coconuts Over OPI. Now this is another one of those kind of like, I keep saying beige, but I don't know, like, would you consider these on the beige scale? I feel like it's a beigey with like a beigey brown. I don't know. Either way, I feel like it fits the brown category better than anything else. And then the final one is actually a polish that I made. It doesn't have a name yet. It doesn't even have labels on it. But I was just playing around with polishes, and I was like, let me make a brown. I've never made brown before. And I made this. It's a brown, and then it's got like a jellyish brown. And then I just added a ton of shimmers in there. And so this is an interesting kind of murky brown, and it's got those pretty like green shimmers. That's what translates through the polish, is those green shimmers. All right, you guys, these are all of the browns. There might be one or two missing here and there. I tried really hard. I went through all of my swatches to pull all the ones that I felt might be brown. So these are all the ones I had that are brown. I'm surprised that I have so many, but at the same time, these are all, like, I look at them and I feel like they're all interesting. So my tastes are definitely changing. They've definitely evolved over the years. And that's, you know, the beauty of polish, is that your tastes change and grow with you. But anyways, let me know down below, do you guys like brown? Are you against browns? Are you surprised that I have so many browns? Because I know I am. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.